Ethan was a sharp-suited real estate mogul in Chicago at 39. He had it all: luxury cars, five-star dinners, and a penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. But none of it came easy. Years ago, Ethan was homeless. He'd lost his job, his fiancée, and slept under bridges with nothing but a soaked blanket and a broken backpack. One night, in the freezing rain, he collapsed near a diner. That was when George, a retired nurse turned street musician, found him. George didn't have much, but he bought Ethan soup, dried his clothes at a laundromat, and gave him shelter in an abandoned trailer he'd fixed up. For a week, George fed Ethan, cared for him, and reminded him, "You're not broken. You're just paused. Get up when you're ready." One morning, Ethan left without saying goodbye. Not out of disrespect, but because he couldn't look George in the eye, knowing he had nothing to give in return. Years passed. Ethan rebuilt himself, got a job, learned real estate, and rose faster than anyone expected. But he never forgot George. Every year on a rainy night in November, Ethan drove around the city trying to find him. He asked shelters, left flyers, nothing. One rainy Thursday night, Ethan was in a rush, heading to close a deal. His phone rang, unknown number. A shaky voice said, "Are you Ethan Carter? You saved my uncle once. He never stopped talking about you. He's dying, and he asked for you." Ethan's heart dropped. He canceled everything. At a rundown hospice in the South Side, he saw him. Older, weaker, but still with that same smile. "Hey, kid, you found your castle, huh?" George said. Ethan held his hand, tears in his eyes. "I've been looking for you for 10 years, he whispered. "You saved me. I owe you everything." George smiled and said, "I didn't save you. I reminded you who you were." George passed that night with Ethan beside him. A week later, Ethan got a call from a lawyer. George, it turned out, had a brother who'd passed years earlier, and a land deed in Michigan. It was worthless back then. But now, developers were begging to buy it for millions. George left it to Ethan, along with a note. "You gave me dignity in the end. I gave you a second start. The rest, that's just life being magical when kindness comes full circle." Ethan never sold the land. He built a shelter on it, named it The Circle, where homeless men get more than food. They get reminded, you're not broken, you're just paused. Because sometimes the smallest kindness becomes life's greatest miracle.